Hi, Nordic Game Conference people. It's me, Tanja welcoming you at the talk on overcoming career challenges and games. I'm happy to have all of you here. So let's dive into the topic. Well, today we're gonna speak on the data-driven approach on managing your career and building your career in games, based on over 30 resources that I've collected for you to get appropriate data and research. Except and above that, we are running a big employment survey and rely on the data from around 1,600 game developers. And I am representing two teams, Values Value, where I am a founder, and this is a team of games industry recruiters who hire top-notch specialists, headhunt experts, and hire entire teams for cool game studios. I'm also a co-founder at In-Game Job. It's a job portal, and I will also rely on the data from our job portal in this talk. So if you're looking for a new role or a new employee in the games industry, please feel free to um, do it on In-Game Job. Okay, so I would like to start with the global factors that are this or that way influencing careers of the games industry professionals, as well as all the people in the IT sector and the whole world, the world as it is. So the first one, it's the recession that we're facing, and it's the spend cut in all the spheres, including games. It's a lot of insecurity for businesses and for individuals, and this is something that we need and have to manage. This is also the war conflicts, not mentioning only Ukraine, where I am from, but also the conflict in Israel that have significantly influenced the European and Middle East and Northern African games industry scene. And we see uh, for example, slowdown of hiring in the whole MENA region. And we see, for example, quite high saturation in the EU labor market by Ukrainian game industry professionals, um, which are in this or that way very much influenced by the conflicts that are happening in their region. Another global factor that has been influencing the games industry since 2023 and until now, it was the crypto winter, followed by some significant growth um, of crypto and by multiverse devaluation. So our strong beliefs in multiverse as the new big thing have um, have disappeared maybe or got very very weak. Nevertheless, there is an amount of great projects in development or in at the stage of investment raising that are really promising and maybe will be the big thing in the multiverse. But as a big influencing factor, as it was, for example, in 2022, multiverse is no longer such a great factor. However, there is another great factor and big thing, and the new sexy, and it's the AI. And we see AI boom in all the spheres of our professional and personal life. And of course, this is something that influences the whole IT world at the moment and the games industry um, as both an IT and entertainment industry. Again, we have a significant so-called traditional investment slowdown, and the games are a part of the traditional investment scene. That is why we have a significant drop down in investment on all stages. And of course, this influences the labor market and the careers. So, what can we do? We cannot, unfortunately, by our strong will, stop wars, recession, etc. However, what we can try to do is to have a financial backup, to be ready to react on the global trends, on any unpredicted circumstances, and feel at least more control over things that we cannot control. Then we need to choose crypto and metaverse wisely. So there is a number of great teams with very significant portfolio of the founders and the core teams. And this is something that needs to be paid attention to when you choose crypto and metaverse, just to understand that this is not such a big hype at the moment. Yes, still the salaries in crypto are much higher than in the, again, so-called traditional games development. But you need to think twice before choosing this or that path, depending on your short, mid, and long term goals. I would suggest to apply AI in your daily routine before it applies you. Be at least aware of the tools that make your work easier, or get to know what tools your teammates use in order um, to have a broader understanding of mm, of the outcomes of AI and how it influences your job, even if you don't use it. Uh, Anyway, we can also think about relocating, keeping safety in mind, uh, and choosing the regions we relocate to, keeping safety in mind, keeping the this geopolitical factor. For example, we see with the conflict in Gaza, that the whole region was influenced, and there is a significant slowdown in offers acceptance, and successful relocation. For example, for the Saudi Arabia, um, yeah. Again, build processes, your team processes, your company processes, your own personal processes, and your career and professional approaches, minding turbulence. So in 2024, it's quite naive to build your career as if it was 2021 and everything was growing and booming and the investments were pouring into the games from every investor we can only imagine. Yeah, I've mentioned investment, and according to the report by investgame.net, the deal making downturn comprised uh, was 4 times lower than in 2021-22 average. In the previous year, the mergers and acquisitions, they have dropped down almost 4 times. IPO scene was quite quiet. The early stage investment dynamics was striving to catch up to the previous year's levels, and managed to show positive dynamics compared to the pre-COVID period. But comparing to the previous 2 years, 2-3 years, it was, of course, less. The late stage investment was in the lowest point in 2023, with only roughly 300 million capital raised across 8 big transactions. And the only increase in investment activity in 2023 was mostly connected with artificial intelligence and related um, solutions and services. What can be done in this situation? When we see that companies may feel financially insecure, require transparency from your companies, whether they are public or not, or whether they are startups. Require transparency at the moment of negotiations for a new role, and research a potential employer on their investment rounds, whether they are secure, and don't be shy and ask about how many months are secured by the company, whether they are already raising for the next round, what they have in mind. Just you need guarantees. Don't be shy to ask about them. Besides that, if you are working in no matter a startup or a large enterprise, get legal insights on your current employment agreement. You may be surprised, or you may have forgotten what was mentioned there. And you need to be ready. You need to know your rights and what to expect. Um, Again, ask about on your next one-on-one or on your interview. Ask about your guarantees of stability. What's gonna be if you are laid off? Is this role presupposing that if there is a round of layoffs in the company, that it will be terminated first, or that you will be laid off? So this is something that can be and needs to be discussed. As for the trends that were influencing and still influencing us in the games in 2023 and even now, it's the decrease of mobile game revenue. It's the Chinese impact on the mobile game revenue, and it's connected not only with the shrinking of the Chinese market, but also with the Chinese investments in the overseas companies. They have seen a significant drop down as well. Steam had its record year, which is great. However, experts say that new big releases are expected in 2025, 2026. And for us, as someone who is discussing career, it means that this may be a factor of stability. If you join the team at an early stage, Now, when companies tend to invest wisely, and maybe you will have this 1 or 2 years without layoffs and with some guarantees of stability and security. However, it will be not that easy to put in your portfolio some project that some very big project that will be released very soon. The stock performance of gaming giants was quite stable. However, this doesn't mean that there's gonna be no layoffs. Mm, Again, the impact of the privacy policies, IDFA, Google Sandbox, is very severe for the mobile market at the moment. And this is something to think about on the perspective of your career, or, for example, for your pet project, if you're trying to enter a new niche. This is something that you can ask on your next one on one from your manager, how you're handling this and how they are going to cope with the ongoing growth of CPI. Um, Hyper casual maybe has finally transformed into hybrid, at least in the strategies of the game developers. Each big hyper casual publisher has a strategy of diversification, of joining the hybrid casual or casual or even mid-core niche. And you need to think twice if you're given an offer on a purely hyper casual project, because this doesn't enforce and improve your CV. Um, some experts have noticed that the falling ad revenues uh, that happened because of the recent privacy restrictions may require a shift to subscriptions growth, even in the mobile world, and more hardcore in-app monetization. So if it relates to your specialization, then you understand which expertise to develop. And the Unity's policy changes. There's this was a very uh, trending factor in the previous year, and it led to some decisions both for the companies and for the individual developers on which engines to choose and which expertise to develop. That is why, with all those trends mentioned, I would pay attention. I would not give you any pieces of advice, but I would pay your attention on choosing whether to continue at this or that company or whether to join to this or that company, keeping in mind their long-term vs short-term development cycles, whether this is a live operated games or it's still in development, uh, both taking into consideration whether there is the revenues, whether it is investment, and which is more stable. So pay attention to the marketing model of your job or potential job, and maybe your marketing skills and monetization skills. This is something to develop. One of the most wanted professions in 2023 was related to marketing. And we see that this trend is going to grow. Whereas in 2022, this was the least wanted profession, and companies uh, had a tendency to even shorten their marketing teams, uh, trying to optimize everything that could be optimized. But at the moment when marketers have to rely not only on user acquisition, but all the traditional and non-traditional user acquisition and brand promotion, uh, marketers are kings again. Pay attention to the genre and the platform. Choose wisely on what you are going to believe in. One of the most growing niches in the previous years were PC and console. In the previous 2 years, while everything was dropping down, they showed some growth. Again, there are genres in both mobile and browser mm, that are growing, that show very good uh, results, and the market is not that saturated. So make your marketing research before joining this or that team. And don't forget to ask your managers or your hiring managers on the product strategy they have and the IP approach, since games with strong IP tend to get more investment and more success. So just be sure that you totally understand where the money comes from to the team that you work at the moment or are planning to join, and how they are going to develop and how it aligns with your career strategy. As for the games industry HR trends, so the greatest trend is layoffs. Unfortunately, it still is the layoffs. We have also noticed that equi-hiring has finally transformed into equi-firing. So the whole teams that were acquired due to their expertise and experience were just in the same way laid off or sold with losses and then again with layoffs. Another big trend was artists' manifesto against AI, and the sound professionals also joined. Mm, and again, we see on the other hand, we see a great boost of services and startups providing AI, companies introducing it in their pipelines, even AAA companies. So AI is a big thing. As an alternative to Unity, according to the GDC report, a third of developers have already switched to game engines in 2023 or thought about it. Again, employers focus on experts and senior plus specialists, and this is a great issue for juniors and entry roles to enter the games industry. And AI doesn't help recruiters with that, not because of its insufficiency, but because of very little implementation. According to the above mentioned report by GDC, only seven, I guess, or maybe not this report, maybe it was 80 level. Some of these two reports shows that only 7% of companies have applied AI in their HR processes. Another unpleasant trend is the overwork. 37% of respondents uh, of 80 level research, they took on more responsibilities without an increase in salary in 2023. Um, and again, the same percentage didn't receive any payment for overwork and overtime hours. And it means that even if the salaries of such people didn't drop down, their roles are devaluating. And it means that the companies get more by paying less. Again, companies are not that welcoming. The switchers are not that welcoming people, not matching expected requirements and experience, and are not ready to experiment and to give chances to professionals. The market is quite saturated with great pros, and companies would sometimes prefer to have a longer hiring process vs hiring a very matching professional. Yes, the amount of entry level and junior roles continue to decrease, and I guess that this is going to continue. This trend is going to continue. And marketing specialists with broad experience are very much wanted at the moment, vs performance marketing pros and solely UA managers. So what can be done with that, with these trends that we have noticed? It's get ready to be laid off today. No matter what your profession is, and especially if you are an artist, protect your IP and find a way to apply artificial intelligence um, before it applies you. Um, Learn alternative engines, develop your expertise if you are a programmer or an engineer. For all the roles, implement AI in your everyday routine. Uh, Whether we want it or not, this is going to be a skill that will be required by the companies. So try to acquire such a skill as soon as possible. Manage stress and overwork. Uh, Try to prevent burnout. If you are burnt out, pay attention to this. This is a very serious condition. Mm, Learn to manage stress because this is the only way that you're going to stay productive. Grow your expertise and upgrade your skills, and prepare for hardcore search when a junior or an if you're an entry role, a trainee. So there's quite a lot of job to be done on your side. And if we dwell on layoffs a bit, it was more than 10,000 layoffs in the previous year, and already 9,400 announced by today. More than 25% of respondents experienced layoffs in their organizations in the previous year. And if we speak about the European Union, Sweden's Embracer Group are responsible for roughly 50% of recorded layoffs this year, the previous year. And as for our research, layoffs have become a top reason for job change for the first time since we started such a research in 2017. What can be done with the layoffs? You need to get an opportunity to stay updated on company announcements about layoffs or restructuring. Keep in mind that this could happen. However, do not concentrate only on layoffs. Concentrate on your productivity and your results. However, know your options, what the severance packages are, the outplacement services or internal transfers. Um, Maybe, again, take a look at your employment agreement, advise a legal specialist, etc. Try to save a 3 to 6 months backup because this is an average time a highly experted person uh, finds their job, their new job after being laid off. Maybe you need some time to cope stress. Maybe you need some time not to choose the first applicable role, but have an opportunity to choose. For this, you need to have a backup. Keep your CV and LinkedIn profile updated and ready for any opportunities. Yeah, network for job leads and informational interviews. Do not refuse the recruiters uh, roughly. Be polite and nice. You don't know whether you're gonna address them tomorrow. Uh, and it may be embarrassing. Yeah, you have been ghosting someone for years, and now you're super nice and polite. Okay, enhance your skills and marketability. Um, and it means that first you need to evaluate yourself as a professional and be able to represent that with data and with numbers. Uh, Prioritize self-care during this challenging period. Um, Ask for help if you need it. And again, be ready. Be ready not with anxiety, but be ready with self care and self assurance and your strong belief in your soft and hard skills. Unfortunately, and I hate saying this, that the year-to-year pay gap is one of the trends influencing the games industry professionals. And we see that female games industry professionals uh, get less, are paid less than male, and the difference is even bigger with the level of seniority. Um, yeah, you see here we have in the previous slide, it's the median salary in the previous year. In according to our research, and here is the desired salary. So we ask our respondents on the salary they would like to get, and you see that here, female expert top chief head VP levels desire 60K, while male get more than 60K. So you see, this is something we need to work on, and women's self-esteem and how they negotiate their salary, how they negotiate their performance review and upgrades, etc. So with the salaries, you need to know the market, how much others are paid, and where you are in this scene. Update your compensations expectations accordingly. Get ready for compensations negotiations, being offered much less than you get today, being offered um, a decrease in role, decrease in salary, and find your strong points in order not to have to agree to that. And try to implement an approach to your career as if it was a project and design your career path and future income so that you had a goal and kept it in mind and understood what steps need to be taken in order to reach that goal. Another thing, it's the job ads. You see the drop down even during the 2023. That is why what we need to do is to stand out among hundreds of applicants with a very quality, with a very high quality in your CV, with a portfolio on any role. Try to design your portfolio no matter what your role is, what your profession is. Have a LinkedIn, research the company that you are applying to and design the cover letter accordingly. Even if you are being actively hired and reached out by the recruiters, spend some time in order and invest some time into researching the company. Maybe the hiring manager you're going to talk to, the recruiter that you're going to talk to. Pay respect. This investment mm, may really return to you. Don't be shy. Again, ping and remind of yourself. Ask for feedback. And if you were told that we would reach you out in a week, you were not reached out, ping and remind about yourself. Do not reject the test tasks. This will help you stand out between other candidates, and play relevant games and genres that are in your professional area of interest and which are in the professional area of interest of the companies you apply to. So do everything to stand out. So we have a little time left, and the predictions. Some say that things are going to get worse. Some say that there is some light in the end. So here we are, almost 4.5 months of 2024 are over. We see that some things are really getting better concerning investment. Things need to be worked on. It's the slowdown of salaries rise. It's a very big issue on trust to the companies that have already experienced the layoffs. It's a very big focus on processes, performance, and culture, vs hiring and equi-hiring. And companies tend to invest in the existing talents. That is why what can be done. It's a slide for the managers. I really ask you to invest in your teams and your own selves, in your soft and hard skills, in your level of expertise. Be ready to have extra tasks and responsibilities. It's quite an issue not to get in those 37% that had to take extra tasks and responsibilities in the previous year. Optimize your costs with outsourcing, consulting, service providers that are easy to have an agreement termination, vs having someone in-house that would be laid off or is at the risk of laying off. Here we have the skills that are most wanted by the employers when they hire managers. And I have underlined managing uncertainty and risks as it is one of the most important skills nowadays. You can have a screenshot. Okay, and the takeaways for everyone. I hope that we stay positive, that we grow the network, and we're doing this now. Be visible to recruiters and hiring managers. Prove your expertise with numbers and results. Develop your hard and soft skills. Save a backup. Know the market. Know how much you cost and update your expectations. Know your agreement. Keep your LinkedIn and CV updated. Take time to have a portfolio or prepare cases. And keep in mind matching roles and industries. And please fill in our games industry employment survey. It is still running till the end of May, so you have time. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Um, if you have questions, feedback, please feel free to reach me out. Thank you.